Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Tiffany Abe Takes. I am Tiffany Abe. And this episode is a review episode. I got the chance this weekend to see Tony Baker at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. 10 out of 10 experience. So, to be honest, it was something. And so I had it kind of planned out. And the day of, a few things changed unexpectedly. So I didn't know if I was going to get a chance to go, but the universe aligned. I was able to finesse a few things and able to go. It was just very stressful. But everything worked out. It was great. Worth it. Worth the chaos prior. It was a 3-hour trip for me. I came from Columbia, in South Carolina. And to be honest, I don't mind. I love driving, so I don't mind a good drive. But very good drive. Not a lot of traffic or anything like that. Not a lot of accidents, rather, because it's always traffic in Atlanta. Everything went smoothly. So I'm gonna talk about the fit that I wore because I gotta give y'all the details, I'm gonna attach the photo so you guys can see it. Simple dress. I feel like you can't go wrong with a dress. So I feel like I can't go wrong with a dress. I love a dress. I had heels and I had slides. I ended up choosing the slides. I did, but I could have wore the heels because it wasn't where I had to do a lot of walking. But I just went to slides because last time I went to the Atlanta Comedy Theater, a lot of wet floors. So that's why I ended up doing the slides because I ain't got time. So it was at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. That's a pretty decent venue. But they were a little off on the having it together because the bathroom did not have toilet tissue. Well, one stall had toilet tissue, and then after the show there was none in there. So how you start the show without toilet tissue, and you have a big name coming, that was just the only comment I have about the venue. And I ordered cheesecake bites and they were warm. I'm sorry, but I could not, like, I didn't know warm cheesecake was a thing. That just totally blew my vibe on the food. I was like, how you push the dinner in to the table, that was me. Because after that, I was like, and I tried to, give it a shot, but it just wasn't working for me. So the show, it was hosted by Brandon Lewis. Well, he's on roast me. I could definitely see the roast me skills in action, and that was cool to watch because it was just a lot of funny moments. He did great with audience interaction and just quick witted. It was beautiful to see. And also, I want to say, I didn't talk about this, but I wanted to talk about it, why I chose to go to this show. One, I had wanted to see Tony Baker a while because, if you watch his content, and people around him, a lot of them hold him in such high regard. I, too, partake in the stand-up from time to time, right? So I also like to go to certain people's shows just to obtain tips and kind of just watch masters at work. And he is one of the people that were on my list to just observe. I can't remember what happened the last time, but I wasn't able to go. So that's why this time, and it almost didn't work out. I was like, "Oh, brother, what's going on?" And he do have a show, in Charlotte, which is an hour and some change for me. So thinking, I don't know, but they're supposed to have another tour next year. And I will for sure check that one out. If I don't get to see the Charlotte one. But I looked at the Charlotte website, and the Charlotte website do not have it where you can see where your seats are. I don't like that. But anyway, that's why I wanted to go see the Tony Baker show. I'm trying to remember where I left off. Brandon Lewis. So yeah, he was a phenomenal host. Very good at engagement, getting the audience like involved, getting the audience hyped. The people on the lineup. First it was a comedian, Keisha E. She did good. Her set was, about um just dating, finding a partner, that type of thing. The next person was a comedian by the name of Stevie J. I was not familiar with him at all. I didn't even, I hadn't heard of him, had no previous, like perception of who he was. I have seen Keisha E on like their content. Um so I was familiar with her. I actually like, I think, seeing new people with no like bias. He did good. His set went from like 0 to 100 super quick. He came out at first, the jokes are very, very innocent, and then it just went like extreme. He was I liked him. Well, like he gave like traditional LA, like everything you see in media. Well, his look was very LA, I would say. Very LA. Interesting. Um, one, I've always wanted to go to LA. I haven't yet, but it's on my things to do. So maybe between this year and next year, I'll get to LA. But um, it's interesting to see people from a place and they look exactly like what I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Keisha E was also from LA. Well, I guess lived in LA, but she didn't like look like any place. She just looks like a normal girl. And I like to see women in comedy. Shout out to Tony Baker for putting a woman on like the tour. I don't know if she is doing the tour with him, but she was a part of Atlanta because she lived in Atlanta. And even if she's not on the tour, that's even more shout out because I feel like it's dope to have like people in locations, and when you come and you work and you building your brand, like you bring people along to build their brands too. Like it's beautiful to see, honestly. Next is Kenan Becker. I enjoy him online. Like I don't have like a take in particular. He just talked about being married, so I guess that's why I like neutral, I guess, reaction for me. But I did enjoy it. He sells hats that have a silk, like the ultimate black girl Scully. Um, so they're like Scullies and they have a satin lining. Beautiful. I think that's a great product. Then it was time for Tony Baker, right? I see why people hold him in such high regard. He came out. So you know how you be like in school and like jocks. But you know how like boys on the football team and stuff, and they see each other like like he was he was doing that to like various people in the audience, which is funny in itself, but like cool and like a connecting factor. Okay, so when I go to shows, like now since I've created some things, like I feel like I have two versions of the show. Like one, I watch it as a, I guess like a creative, and then two, I watch it as like the consumer. So when he came out, very just like engaging with the people. there was a point in the show where I laughed so hard. Um, like I feel like I maxed out on my laugh meter and I had no more laughs left in me. Like all of the set was hilarious. And it was parts after that particular part where I wanted to give more laughter, but it's like I couldn't because I had laughed. Like it took, like I had to reach, the laughs were like coming from so deep within that the laugh energy had exhausted itself. It was to the point where, when you know how you gotta go like, whew, Lord, that was me because, and I'm don't want to like ruin the show because one, when you go there, you can't record. Like I wanted to like vlog this experience, but I feel like it would have kind of been a waste because you can't really like show footage. So I'm just doing this review instead. Um, where I left off, where I left off. Yeah, so I don't want to spoil like the show in case you decide to go see it. I'm just gonna give you a little tidbit. So it's a part in the show where he talks about like planes, in particular, annoying people that are annoying on the plane. And just the act out. It was the act out for me. And all he did was go behind the curtain and say, "You hit a person before they get on the plane." That it took me out. It was just so dramatic and like just funny and cute. He's a cute man. I have to address it. And he talked about, just funny stuff. One thing I admire about his set is like he kind of gets vulnerable and talk about some fears and things like that. And it's kind of admirable because a lot of times men don't admit to being scared about things. And I feel like society kind of like invalidates those emotions for men. So, and for him to be kind of like, I'm trying to think of a way to say this so I don't sound like a creep a little bit, or um, and for him to be like muscular, I guess would be the way to say it. Typically men that kind of look like that don't express like vulnerableness. um so yeah, I think that's cute because also things about people, like it's more so not so much how like a person or people look, but just like I think it's important to listen to their subject matter because it kind of tells you like who they are within. Because like I think a lot of times comedians that men comedians that fall in the attractive category, um like they kind of like use it to kind of like roast other people versus digging deep within themselves to kind of like, you know. So I admire that about the show, about his set. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, so I like how he balanced like ups and downs of the show. So, um, there is moments like where everybody's knee slapper, falling over laughing. And then there's like times where it gets calm and it's just like he's sitting there talking to us. It almost feels like, just sitting on the couch and like having a combo. And then it goes high tempo. And then it goes, you know, like I wouldn't say like roller coaster because I feel like that is like turbulent. So it's a good balance. I can't think of the perfect analogy, but and I wonder, is that done consciously? Like when he creates his set or what, does he think of does he think about high energy, da da da, like I would just love to know that. That's the creator brain. What else though? Oh, so something he did was really sweet. He had meet and greets after the show. I appreciate that because I feel like that's the next step, next level of making the people that support you feel valued. I feel like that helps the brand. I feel like that, you know, reinforces support, and it's sweet. It's a kind thing to do that is not required. Um, and I'm glad he did that because I wanted to get a picture. And I don't have the balls to do that if he was just like out there, not set up to take pictures. My level of shy introvert, um is another one I'm looking for. Shy introvert, um awkward. Yes. Like the people that be walking up to people and be like, yo, so and so and so, you take a picture with me? Kudos to them. I don't know how they do that, but I do not have the balls to do that. And I just gotta, like, have you been out there with, like, just like at the merch table or something? I would just walk right by. More importantly, the shy, the introvert, the awkward, it's more so like first meet. It's more so like I'm like a layered personality. So now, that's not the first time I saw him though, but it's the first time that like where I would actually like I guess have an opportunity to like discuss something. And that's another thing, cause like in my head I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask this question about da 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 da. Like the things I was talking about, like on the show, I probably wanted to like comment on the show, like, "Oh, hey, fantastic show," or, low key, what I wanted to ask, like really ask, was like, "Hey, can you give me some tips on like stand up?" That's what I wanted to ask in my head. But that did not come out. I got up there. I'm just like, hi. And then I went to do like the handshake thing because, I try to like figure out what's the appropriate thing to do. I don't know. So I won't okay. I told y'all I'm awkward, okay? Like awkward black girl, Issa Rae. That's me. So I did like the handshake thing, but then it was like a hug thing. And clearly I would have the hug is the first choice, but you don't know how like sometimes celebrities are like iffy about that. Well, men celebrities are iffy about it because heard this guy one time and he was like, when I take pictures of people, I do not touch them, um, because I guess like the whole Me Too thing. I don't care about that. Like try to meet a lot of people. Like matter of fact, there's very few select people I would even pay money to go to a show to see. And then there's very few people that I would bother to like be pictured with. um, but I totally disagree with that. I feel like you know how them Chris Brown meet and greets be like where it's super like um connections and stuff. I think that's what should happen. And he was like, bring it in. Tony Baker. He was like, bring it in. I was like, okay. Yeah. That's what I'd, you know, prefer you just like I prefer to let him say it and I say it because I don't want to be like aggressive. It's the shyness. I'm telling you, it's the shyness. I did not get asked him about. I did not get a chance to. Well, I got a chance, but I did not seize the moment, and I did not ask him about stand up tips. Also though, I watch him content, and sometimes he like the meet and greets give him anxiety because like people be talking to him and he be like thinking about the next person in line. And I kept that in mind, so I didn't want to be like, because if I asked for a tip on stand up, that could be kind of like a long winded answer. It could be. And I didn't want to like take too long because I understand that he feels that way. And I feel like when people tell you that they feel a certain way about something, you need to oblige. I go through that enough in real life. Like if I say I feel like something and the person continues to do it, or if the person does it anyway, even just the one time, like I literally just told you I don't like that. So why would you come and you do that? Like I get that 100%. So I just want to like please or wait, well that sounds crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to like follow the rules and stuff. And but yeah, our picture came out great. It's super cute. And he also said that he didn't do meet and greets at all the places too. So I was like, yes, this is a like a TikTok applause thing. So I know somebody that I'm posting this on YouTube, and I know a lot of people that's on YouTube may not be on TikTok, but this is like a modern day millennial, well, Gen Z version of applause. So when you see me do that, that's what that's about. Also with the meet and greets, like when I go into that shyness, sometimes it's the masculine energy though. Yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Like sometimes I don't say a lot because I just want to see what the energy is that the person gives me, whoever the person is that I'm meeting. And I just like to feel energy and see what I um receive from the person's energy. Um Sometimes I enjoy that more than a conversation. And I feel like Tony Baker's energy was very calm. He had like a very um relaxed zen type of vibe. That's what I got from it. But his stage persona was very dominant. Like he gives very like talk you through it energy. hmm He does. Because it's very, like, the stuff he says sometimes is very instructional. And I feel like this take is this take is from a consumer, a creator, and also just as a woman. Um, that's the vibe that I pick up from him. And I enjoyed it. I would recommend 10 out of 10 experience. He was phenomenal. He had great variety of comedians, not only just gender, I think subject matter, I think style. I can see why people respect him. And even though I didn't necessarily get to ask him that question about the stand-up tips, just from watching his show, to be honest, I received my answers, you know? And that's kind of dope, to be honest. Um, so I don't know what he would have said to me to answer that question, but I feel like from just watching his show, some of the things that kind of one of my favorite takeaways was just like the moments where it was just like calm in there, and it wasn't really like a ha ha moment, but he was just kind of talking and just like expressing himself, and like the connection that I don't know if all the audience felt that, but I kind of felt that, and I like that, And I feel like that comes from like just telling real stories and talking about things that are true to you. And um that was probably my biggest takeaway as a creative watching the show, even with not necessarily comedy, but even with like um, articles that I choose to like report on, or people I interview, or um, just like different series that I may choose to create, just like not being afraid to be vulnerable, even I guess if it's not something that a lot of people talk about. Like I've kind of taken that with me. Um, and it's inspiring. And I'm going to go to a open mic again because sometimes low key the open mics in my area, like I feel like people when they be going up there, they don't be taking it serious. And I like that. And as I sit here and I talk, it's very like, calm as well. But, when I go on stage or when I make a video and when I'm doing anything that's like a part of my brand, even though it's not like a huge following just yet, manifest, um, I do take it seriously because it's art and it's being created and um it's a representation. I enjoy art. I enjoy creating. So when I go up there, like, and when I'm amongst others, like, for me, like I said, I'm big on energy. I'm feeding off what other people are doing. And if I watch somebody go up there and they treat it like a joke, that almost makes me not want to even do it anymore because I feel like that sets a tone with the audience. A lot of times open mics are other comics, but the place that I go to, it does have a good group of people that are, just the public stopping in. So I really wanted to go to the show to kind of like see someone and people who take what they do seriously and see what I can learn from that. And I feel like going to that show was not like just a show. For me, like a workshop type of thing. So in my head, I'm like taking notes of things that kind of stand out to me that I think I can incorporate. And I'm not, everyone's stories are different, so those can't be the same. But sometimes someone's approach to something can kind of help you figure out how you want to navigate what you're doing. And that connection piece was like my favorite. Just as a consumer, my favorite part was the meet and greets. I enjoyed that. Um, it's just really nice, you know, good energy. Yeah. That's my take. Thanks for watching. Bye.